Tonight on CTV News at 6. Two communities are grieving.
The whole community is grieving. The whole community is trying to support each other. The whole community is trying to be present for one another as much as we can. And it's obviously a very sad time.
An ATV commercial motor vehicle crash kills 4 people in Moonbeam. Daytime shooting in Sudbury.
He was transported to hospital where he remains in critical but stable condition.
Police are still searching for a suspect. And it was a first for this food bank in Sault Ste. Marie.
We're almost entirely out of soup.
After a call out to the community, the shelves at St. Vincent Place are being restocked.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening and thanks for being with us on this Tuesday. People in the towns of Moonbeam and Kapuskasing are still coming to grips after 4 young people were killed in a crash over the weekend. CTV's Lydia Chubak has more.
In the midst of a construction zone on Highway 11 North, a memorial site is growing in honor of 4 youths whose lives were claimed during a collision early Saturday morning.
I can't believe that it happened, yet I can't stop thinking about it. I can't get it out of my head.
It happened on a stretch of road a few kilometers north of Moonbeam, involving an all-terrain vehicle and a commercial motor vehicle.
August 16th at 3:20 in the morning, the OPP received a call of a collision on Highway 11 near Moonbeam. So at that time, we attended the collision and immediately saw that there was 4 individuals deceased at the scene.
People we spoke with say everyone is in a state of shock and grief over the loss of 1 16-year-old and 2 18-year-olds from Moonbeam, as well as 1 20-year-old from Kapuskasing.
The whole community is grieving. The whole community is trying to support each other. The whole community is trying to be present for one another as much as we can. And it's obviously a very sad time.
The youths were students at École Secondaire Catholique Cité des Jeunes in Kapuskasing, where flags are at half-mast. School board officials declined our request for an interview, but emailed a statement. Our school community is in mourning and will not be commenting on camera about this tragic loss. We are currently supporting our staff, our students, and our recent graduates in offering support to those who need it. One young woman named Carly worked at the Moonbeam Golf Club.
Carly worked inside. She did customer service. She would sign customers in, help with tournaments. She would just serve and help the customers. She did a bit of everything. She was a hard worker, very smart. They were all close friends. Like I said, they've known each other since they were kids. They went to schools together. Everybody around here went to school with them. Everybody knew their parents or their families.
The OPP's investigation into the collision continues, and it's currently collecting video of the area. While the township of Moonbeam says it deeply respects the heartfelt gestures already made at the roadside, it hopes a designated site at the town's Spaceship, a roadside attraction, will offer a safe place for people to come together to remember Audric, Audrey, Carly, and Loic. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Moonbeam.
Greater Sudbury police say a man who was shot yesterday remains in critical condition. It happened in an apartment building in the city's West End. Now, investigators are searching for the suspect, who they say is known to the victim. CTV's Alana Everson has the latest.
On Tuesday morning, officers with the forensic unit were at the apartment building to process the scene where the shooting happened. Police confirm a man was shot in an apartment early Monday afternoon at a building located at the corner of Spruce and Ayers Streets in Sudbury's West End.
Upon police arrival, police did locate a 58-year-old male victim who had sustained a gunshot wound to his abdomen. He was transported to hospital where he remains in critical but stable condition.
There is a convenience store and 5 apartments in the building where the shooting took place. The clerk in the store tells us people are curious about what happened, and some are talking about hearing the shot. Police confirm the Criminal Investigations Division is leading the search for the suspect, who fled before police arrived.
This was a targeted, isolated incident where the individuals were known to each other, so there's no threat to public safety at this time.
Police hope people with any information possibly or directly related to the shooting will share it with investigators or anonymously through Crime Stoppers.
Anyone with information, any tips on the individuals involved or, who were in the area at the time, any witnesses to come forward.
Police confirm they continue to canvass the area and are asking anyone with video surveillance footage at the time of the shooting, which was 1 p.m. Monday, to contact them. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
And still in Sudbury, provincial police have released the cause of death of 19-year-old Rocco Renault. On May 23rd, around 8 p.m., officers were called to a home in Lively over an unresponsive male. He was taken to hospital and pronounced dead. 2 off-duty Sudbury police officers were suspended with pay in connection to the sudden death investigation. The investigation was handed over to the OPP due to conflict of interest rules. Following the post-mortem, OPP say Renault's cause of death was carbon monoxide poisoning. All right, a little cloud and a little rain on this Tuesday. What's in store for us going forward? To tell us more, here's CTV's Lindsay Alick filling in for Rick Wyman.
Thanks, Tony. Yes, we certainly saw a little bit of everything today across northeastern Ontario. A little bit of shower activity, but nothing too significant. It looks like we could expect a few showers as we head over the next couple of days, but nothing, again, too significant. One thing of note is we are going to see some hot and humid temperatures tomorrow. Will they be sticking around into the weekend? More weather details coming up in just a little bit, but for now, I'll send it back over to you, Tony.
Thanks for that, Lindsay. The Group Health Centre in Sault Ste. Marie was given a generous gift. The Rucho family donated $200,000 to the centre's surgery and ears, nose, and throat departments. The money is to help the centre purchase vital equipment, including new monitors and state-of-the-art surgical equipment. The Group Health Centre president and CEO called the donation an extraordinary gift and says it will make a lasting impact on the centre. If you tried to dump your garbage at the North Bay landfill site, you were out of luck for most of the day. Still to come on CTV News at 6, what caused the delay? But first, we're heading to North Bay and a live webcam shot of Lake Nipissing. It's 20 Celsius. We will return after these brief commercial messages.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
We have more tonight on the issues surrounding the $60 million school building project in Parry Sound. The project is behind schedule, forcing students to be relocated to 3 area schools, one of which has already started to be torn down. Today, the Near North District School Board met to discuss the situation. CTV's Madison Merrier has the latest.
Over 100 people attended the virtual Near North District School Board meeting this morning. On the agenda, Parry Sound Build JK to 12. The meeting got off with a rocky start when the director of the board didn't show up.
The fact that the director is not here present with staff to be able to acknowledge and share with us the plan, the contingency plan that's been shared to the public, has questions.
July 25th, I get an emailed letter from the minister saying that he knew the build wouldn't be completed on time and wouldn't be open on time. That made me furious because I'm hearing from the minister and not the director of education of Near North District School Board.
A motion was put forward by Trustee Bertram requesting that the Ministry of Education immediately investigate the board, its oversight, and the systemic limitation to trustees. The motion was passed 4-3. The board will reconvene next week to review the letter to send to the ministry.
And now here we are. So I don't really care if I lose my trustee seat. This is really important. This is not about people sitting around going, well, let's keep our seats. This is about the school and the students.
In a statement to CTV News, the Minister of Education said, "I share the frustrations of many students and parents in Parry Sound who are disappointed with the severe setbacks and delays on the opening of the brand new state-of-the-art school caused by significant mismanagement and a lack of effective oversight by the board and trustees. The ministry also confirmed they are aware of the resolution, but they are awaiting the official letter before they can step in or comment on the plan. Parents for Parry Sound, who applied pressure with their rally on Friday, joined the online meeting today as well.
I feel like it's a start. I mean, obviously somebody needs to come in and clean up this mess.
Madison Marier, CTV News, Sudbury.
A fire at the municipal dump in North Bay is out, but the blaze closed the facility for much of today. Crews responded this morning to the Merrick landfill site and were able to put it out, but the dump remained closed until 3 p.m. While firefighters stayed on site to ensure the fire didn't flare up, there were no injuries. A first at a Sault Ste. Marie food bank is showing the need for donations. Just a few days ago, St. Vincent Place ran out of canned soup, something that has never happened since the nonprofit was founded. CTV's Corey Nordstrom has more.
Well, normally these aren't up here because the shelves are full of soup.
The shelves at St. Vincent Place are starting to refill, but just a couple days ago they were bare, a shock to staff and volunteers alike.
We're almost entirely out of soup. A few days ago, our food bank coordinator came to me. She's been here for the full 22 years that St. Vincent Place has been open, and she said, I think this is the first time this has ever happened. These soup shelves are empty.
A Friday call out to the community is proving beneficial as more cans are coming in.
A lot of it's been today. The bell's been ringing pretty steadily today that folks are dropping it off, so that's been nice.
If the pace keeps up, officials hope it will last them until their Big Blue food drive coming up at the end of September. So far, they haven't had to turn anyone away at the food bank, but the shortage speaks to something more than just one item.
Soup goes out in every package, so it's really important that we have some on hand all the time. It's also sort of a barometer of how we're doing in terms of donations, because soup is sort of everyone's go-to. So if we're not getting much in the way of soup, it probably means we're not getting much of anything else.
The nonprofit has had to purchase some items this week that they normally have in abundance, including soup.
Things like Mr. Noodles we've been having to buy regularly, Kraft Dinner we've been buying regularly. Soup was sort of a special item just because it's so rare that we would run out of soup.
St. Vincent Place officials say this summer overall has been particularly quiet for donations, and they're still in need of those staples. The nonprofit has a list of its most needed items on its website and posts on social media when they require other specific donations. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has secured his return to Parliament, winning the federal by-election in the Alberta riding of Battle River Crowfoot. Speaking to supporters after the win was announced, Poilievre promised to keep fighting for the people of the riding and across the country.
So that we can once again restore a country that is strong, self-reliant, and sovereign. That is the country we're in this for. That is why we stay united. That is why we go forward. May God keep our land glorious and free. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Poilievre was widely expected to win in the riding, which is considered one of the safest Conservative seats in the country. With the victory, he will be back in the House of Commons in time for the fall session. And Poilievre took more than 80% of the vote, followed in second place by independent candidate Bonnie Critchley. Back now for a check on the current conditions. Here's Lindsay.
Thanks, Tony. We're seeing a little bit of everything across northeastern Ontario at this hour. You might need an umbrella somewhere and you might need a jacket somewhere else. Taking a look at your current temperatures, we're sitting at 14 degrees in Wawa at this hour with a little bit of rainfall. Mostly cloud cover in Sault Ste. Marie, sitting at 18 degrees. It's 19 degrees in Elliott Lake, 21 in Sudbury, mainly sunny in Temiskaming Shores at 23 degrees. 19 degrees in Kapuskasing, mostly cloudy skies over Chapleau, sitting at a chilly 12 degrees. Will those cooler temperatures last? I'm happy to say if you're looking forward to a little bit more summer weather, we've got more hot and humid temperatures in store for tomorrow. But when will rainfall return? You'll have to wait for your 7-day forecast coming up in just a bit. But for now, I'll send it back over to you, Tony.
Thanks so much for that, Lindsay. He was just 8 years old. Next on CTV News at 6. A boy in Toronto who was killed is going to be buried on Manitoulin Island. And Air Canada has reached a tentative contract with its flight attendants. Welcome back. You're watching CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. The mother of an 8-year-old boy who was struck by a stray bullet over the weekend wants her son's name to become a beacon of light for those hoping to stop gun violence in Toronto. CTV's John Woodward reports.
Jave Roy's mom shared new pictures and video of him on social media on Monday.
And just a happy little guy. Like, genuinely a good kid.
A good kid, just 8 years old, as he lay in bed with his mom at this building at Martha Eaton Way and Trethewey Drive in the early hours of Saturday morning. His mom wrote in a social media post, "My baby was preparing for one of his best friend's birthday celebrations. He was so excited he couldn't sleep." That's when gunfire began and Jave was hit by a stray bullet. "There was nothing I can do but scream and hold his lifeless little body. I cannot get that image out of my head," Roy wrote. "Remember his name, never forget his name. I promise, baby, your name will not go in vain and everybody will know it, and mommy's going to go hard for justice, baby," she said. Roy said she wants Jave's body to be returned to a First Nation on Manitoulin Island.
My name is Jave. I am 6 years old.
Jave was featured only 2 years ago in a video by the One by One movement against gangs.
Being nice. Be nice.
Hopefully this can be a beacon of light.
One by One's founder, Marcel Wilson, a former gang member himself, said Jave's death should spark change.
That this is finally the point where people are fed up and had enough.
Police haven't released any suspect information so far and are appealing for witnesses. The shooting got the attention of Toronto's police chief, who visited with the Roy family over the weekend, and Toronto's mayor, who vowed action.
It's sad, it's tragic, it's cruel, it's horrendous.
Toronto's year-to-date homicide statistics are down substantially, just 26 so far this year, compared with 54 in the same period last year. Wilson did have words for anyone looking to get revenge.
You want to harm this person because they harmed someone you love. Don't become what they are.
He says that's not what Jave would have wanted. John Woodward, CTV News.
And Holly Roy posted on social media that she was on her way to Wek-Wemikong on Manitoulin Island today, where she will have a traditional burial for her son. A tragic backstory was revealed during a sentencing hearing for a convicted drug dealer in Sudbury. A 34-year-old man from Southern Ontario was arrested in April 2023 and found to be in possession of more than $200,000 in drugs and cash. The court convicted him, but during sentencing, the defense revealed that the man had faced sexual abuse in foster care and was tortured by rebels in Ghana. The judge sentenced him to 10 years due to the severity of his crimes. You can read the full story on our website at CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca. Some relief for Air Canada passengers, with a tentative deal in place between the airline and the union representing 10,000 flight attendants. After days of disruptions and cancellations, the national carrier is flying again, although it will be days before all aircraft are airborne. CTV's Heather Wright reports on the deal and when air travel will be back to normal.
Lines begin forming inside Terminal 1 at Toronto's Pearson Airport this afternoon, with Air Canada flights slowly returning to the air.
What's this process been like for you?
Hell. The airline has warned getting back to normal could take 7 to 10 days, and many passengers are still stuck in limbo.
Getting bits and pieces. They don't tend to know what's going on themselves.
After 3 days on the picket line, CUPE, the union representing the roughly 10,000 Air Canada flight attendants, announced early this morning it had reached a deal with the airline. Full details of the agreement haven't been released, but Air Canada says its flight attendants will not only be the best paid in the country, they will also be compensated for pre- and post-flight work. With a deal now reached, the airline turns its attention to repairing its reputation.
We're deeply apologetic for what's going on. We understand the impact, the profound impact that this has had. We're going to do everything possible to get people home as quickly as we can.
Not paying flight attendants for on-the-ground work has been a common practice within the airline industry. And by changing its policy, experts expect other unions to ask for a similar deal in the future.
This will change the dynamics. This will eventually end up costing consumers more to fly because it increases the airline or the air carriers' costs of doing business. So we'll end up paying for this.
Prime Minister Mark Carney weighed in on the deal on social media, writing, "It is my hope that this will ensure flight attendants are compensated fairly at all times, while ending disruption for hundreds of thousands of Canadian families, workers and visitors to Canada." The strike has shone a light on the issue of unpaid work, with the Federal Jobs Department saying today its probe into these allegations will take between 6 and 8 weeks. Air Canada says it hopes to get between 15% and 20% of its flights in the air today as it ramps up service. Because most of its fleet had to be returned to domestic airports due to the strike, every plane has to undergo engine and safety checks before it's cleared to fly. Heather Wright, CTV News, Mississauga, Ontario.
Not long after flight attendants went out on strike, Ottawa ordered them back to work under Section 107 of the Canada Labour Code. It's a controversial measure that gives the government the power to end work stoppages. It didn't go over well, the union refusing to comply. CTV's Rachel Aiello now on what that defiance could mean for future labour disruptions.
The federal government moving so swiftly to try and force flight attendants back to work, and Air Canada stating it expected that move to be enforced, has riled up the organized labor movement, which is already predicting the way this dispute played out will be precedent-setting.
They were using this as a crutch, and over the weekend, the flight attendants made sure that that crutch snapped.
Workers' unions say they've been emboldened by the last 24 hours and flight attendants' ability to get a deal at the table after defying a federal arbitration order.
I very strongly hope that the message that this sends to employers and to our federal government is stay out of interference in collective bargaining and do not expect government to ride to your rescue.
The Liberal government has invoked Section 107 of the Canada Labour Code multiple times, including in recent port and rail strikes. But some Labour leaders hope the Air Canada instance was their last.
The message to parliamentarians is that this section of the Canada Labour Code has got to go.
Asked today if she was concerned that how this strike played out has laid the groundwork for Section 107 to no longer be a viable tool in future disputes, Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu's office wouldn't say.
I think what is going to happen over the next little while is Section 107 of the Canada Labour Code that some people argue has been abused in recent years by the federal government, is maybe hit a wall, and it's maybe there's going to be the brakes put on it. Because the only power that directive has is when workers comply.
Flight attendants are denying your back to work order. The government is also being accused of misreading the public mood.
Their decision to force flight attendants back to work so quickly actually inflamed the issue. It forced them to defy orders of government. It sort of really went against what I think the Carney brand is built on. And to many Canadians, that decision didn't really feel right.
The question is now whether other unions would react similarly if talks break down. And with Canada Post heading back to the bargaining table in its protracted dispute with postal workers, we could soon get that answer. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
There's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Lindsay.
Thanks, Tony. Seeing a little bit of precipitation across the northeast at this hour, but mostly cloudy skies for the most part. And this little bit of rainfall over Chapleau, Kapuskasing, and into Timmins will quickly move throughout the region. We'll be left with a little bit of cloud cover as we head into Wednesday morning. And it looks like we could see a few pockets of precipitation around Kapuskasing and Timmins in around the 3 o'clock hour, but it's not going to be anything too significant. That is going to move throughout the region, and we'll be left with some sunny skies before more rainfall makes its way into northern Ontario, impacting areas like Kapuskasing and up into Moosonee around the noon hour on Thursday. How long will it be sticking around? We'll take a closer look with your 7-day forecast. But for right now, let's take a look at that humidex. It's going to be hot and humid tomorrow, sitting at around 29 degrees with the humidex in Sault Ste. Marie, Elliott Lake, over Manitoulin Island, 28 in Sudbury, and in North Bay and Parry Sound, 27 degrees with the humidex in Timmins, Kirkland Lake, and Temiskaming Shores. In terms of overnight conditions, expecting a little bit of rainfall. As you can see, clearing over Sudbury, a chance of showers in Sault Ste. Marie as well as in Timmins, 10 degrees overnight in Temiskaming Shores, and a chance of showers over North Bay. Heading over to Moosonee now, a few clouds expected tonight, a chance of showers in Kapuskasing Hearst, the chance of showers or drizzle in Wawa, 14 degrees in Gore Bay and Parry Sound. Let's take a closer look at the next 7 days, beginning with Sudbury, Nickel Belt. Sunshine tomorrow, a high of on Wednesday, a high of 26 degrees. The humidex value sitting at about 28. Sunshine continues both Thursday and Friday as we see that temperature is sitting above seasonal. We get back to around that seasonal mark on Saturday when some rainfall is possible. And as you can see, it definitely brings that temperature back down, a high of only 17 degrees expected on Sunday. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, partly sunny skies for your Wednesday, a high of 24 degrees, but with that humidex feeling closer to 29. Sunshine continues into Thursday before we could see some showers move in on Friday. It looks like they could be sticking around. Again, cooling things off on Sunday, a high of only 15 degrees expected. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, partly sunny skies for your Wednesday, a high of 24 degrees, but with that humidex feeling closer to 27. Perfect day to go to the beach. Partly sunny skies continue into Thursday before we could see some showers roll in time for the weekend. Timiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, mainly sunny for your Wednesday, a high of 25 degrees, but it's going to be cool overnight, an overnight low of 9 degrees expected. Sunshine continues Thursday and Friday before showers roll in on Saturday. Finally, North Bay, West Nipissing, mainly sunny or mainly cloudy skies for your Wednesday, a high of 25 degrees, sitting above seasonal as we head into Thursday and Friday with that sunshine before we get back to seasonal temperatures on Saturday, and we could see some rain moving into the forecast. Now we're going to take a look at your photo of the day. Thank you so much to Carol for sending in this great shot of a bumblebee enjoying this beautiful flower on Manitoulin Island. If you have a photo that you want to share with us, be sure to do that. Head over to our website, over to our social media. We would love to see the weather photos that you come up with. And now, just a quick reminder, Rick Wyman is going to be live on location at HSN talking all about the 50-50 cash lottery for the North this coming Tuesday, August 26th. You can find out how you can win the jackpot. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Where has the time gone? On the weekend, preseason action begins in the Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League. The regular season starts September 11th. New this year, a logo. To talk more about that, illustrator and graphic designer Paul Ainsworth now joins us from Ajax. Hi there, Paul.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. You're originally from Timmins, we should tell our audience that, and played for the Golden Bears in the 1990s, so you're familiar with the league. Where do you start when you are redesigning the NOJHL logo?
I think it's just pretty much with any kind of client, you kind of dive into what's out there, what's trending, what's kind of representational of what the people are and what the community is like, and just kind of like having that sense of design for everything, really. So you just jump in, dive in, research, you start messing around with things, start drawing, all that kind of stuff.
I really like the new logo. I know when my colleague Rick Wyman was talking to Commissioner Mazuka, I said to him, when are you going to redo that logo? Because no disrespect, it looked kind of dated, but the new one looks vibrant and it has something that's more in touch with the times. Am I right?
No, that's, I'm not saying anything about any kind of logos, but whenever I'm approached to kind of rebrand or update any kind of branding of logos and stuff like that, I tend to try to give a little bit of a little bit of padding to what has been done in the past already. So I wanted to keep with the color scheme. I tried to, because the league has been pretty used to that kind of color scheme. So I liked what they came up with in the original logo, and I wanted to kind of give a little bit of props to how that's kind of come about in the update.
You created the logos, I understand, for the Timmins Rock and the French River Rapids and other hockey teams in Ontario and Quebec. What does it mean to you in designing the new league logo?
I think it was kind of like a good bookend, and I'm always open to new projects, but I think I wanted to really nail that down, especially when I got called by Scott Marshall and got that call. And I thought this was a great opportunity to really bookend some great teams in that league.
You worked with, I understand, Coca-Cola, Marvel Studios, Nike, and Canadian Tire. Are the layers of approval different in a design compared to the NOJHL?
I wouldn't say different, especially with timing wise. It all depends on each project. Some are, high paced, like they need it right now, or it's something like let's take our time with this. It's like a slow process, but I think each and every one of them have to have that respect and not kind of sit on your heels on a lot of these projects. So compared to with big budgets and big companies and national kind of outreach, this is just another project that is important to me.
Paul, thanks so much for your time, continued success, and great job with the new logo.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Paul Ainsworth joined us from Ajax, and to learn more about the new logo and the league, head to NOJHL.com. So how good of a driver are you? Well, when it comes to kart racing, one of the best drivers in the country is a 9-year-old boy from Lumsden, Saskatchewan. And as CTV's Brittany Poitras tells us, he's earned himself a trip to the Middle East to represent Canada on the racetrack.
He might be just 9 years old, but Jack Klim was born to be behind the wheel. The Lumsden product is one of the best go-kart racers in the country and will represent Canada at an international stage this November in Bahrain. Klim says he's been racing on the WF Botkin racetrack outside of Regina since the first time he saw karts on the track.
We saw go-karting, so we came over for a day and asked if we could test it, and we liked it, so we tried it again, did a race the next year, and we loved it, so we kept doing it.
He has been riding around on little quads and electric vehicles since I think he was 2, kind of ripping around our yard, ripping around the farm. I think he's been parallel parking since he was 2. He's a better driver than I am.
With speeds of more than 100 kilometers per hour, the safety procedures become even more important than the race itself.
We have bumpers front, we have a rib protector, a suit, you can have a balaclava, a neck protector, a helmet, and gloves.
Jack's mother says her heart races just as fast on the sidelines as Jack does on the track.
It's definitely high anxiety. I don't know if this ever is going to get easier on my mom heart.
The 4th grader will race against the fastest 7 to 10-year-olds at the Rotex Grand Finals in Bahrain. His mother says competing is a part of Jack's nature.
He's a very special kid. He's always been, highly competitive, very coachable, very easygoing. We're pretty proud of him.
In just a couple of months, Jack will go full throttle against some of the fastest kids in the world and may even bring Canada home a world title. Brittany Poitras, CTV News, near Regina.
Whether it's a slow-burning love story or a fantasy series, romance novels are all the rage, prompting hundreds to turn up at a Vancouver bookstore. CTV's Penny Daflos now on the trend, forging a community in the process.
This isn't a trendy brunch spot, nor is it a shop offering mega deals. This is the grand opening of a bookstore dedicated to a very specific genre.
The romance community is so big, and all these other cities have gotten their romance bookstores, and I just thought Vancouver deserves that too.
Perfect Match Books promises page-turners readers will swoon over, whether it's viral novels like the Akatar series or little-known novellas.
My goal is that everyone walks in and finds themselves on the shelves. So I don't want anybody leaving feeling like there wasn't a book for them here.
It kind of whisks you away, right? The love story. And there's always like a deeper meaning to them, which I absolutely love.
Natalie and Nicole are big fans of the genre and the complexity.
They're not just about love, they're often about like self-discovery and relationships with friends and family. I'm a very avid reader and I like to put my reviews up on Instagram.
The online book community has never been bigger, with romantasy blending love stories with fantasy leading the way. Some are ultra spicy while others are classics, and they're all reviewed on social media. From subgenres,
it seems like mafia romances are a very popular niche within book talk,
to individual books.
Oh boy, it's so good. Yes, yes, yes.
To takes on strengths and weaknesses of specific characters.
Making the stupidest decisions over and over and over again, and just, that's her.
It's a growing genre both online and in real life. Romancing the Data now counts 133 physical bookstores across 9 countries. London got its first earlier this year.
So many of these amazing books have been sort of dubbed as quote unquote smut. And I think that's really unfair because they have, great character building, amazing plot.
And even though some are a little reluctant to admit they've indulged,
it feels then that people will not take you seriously as a reader.
Perfect Match is the 7th romance bookstore in Canada, and this turnout suggests demand is high.
I'm just answering the need of the community.
Penny Jafflaw, CTV News, Vancouver.
Golfing for a great cause still ahead on CTV News at 6. People were hitting the links just outside of North Bay to raise money for much needed medical equipment.
Clothing provided by Laura, Melanie Lynn.
Welcome back. You're watching CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. A new grocery store is opening on the Kingsway in Greater Sudbury. Loblaws has confirmed a No Frills grocery store will open on Thursday. In a release, Loblaws says the new store will create 60 new jobs. As part of the grand opening on Thursday, the new store will be donating $1,500 to Better Beginnings, Better Futures, a local organization that supports children, youth, and families in the community. Loblaws says another No Frills location is opening in Sudbury. It is going to be in the Southridge Mall. An annual charity golf tournament today in Callander, south of North Bay, is collecting funds for crucial medical equipment for the North Bay Regional Health Centre. With more, here's CTV's Eric Tashner.
With the swing of a club, these golfers teed off, like they do every year, in a golf tournament and gala co-founded by former Ontario Premier Mike Harris, raising money to boost local health care. Since its start, it's raised over $1 million.
My late friend Peter Minogue and I started this 27 years ago, and so I haven't missed a year.
Over 140 golfers are participating, including representatives from title sponsor Foraco.
The sponsorship is $10,000. This makes us feel real great because we do understand that all this money goes back to the foundation and the hospital, and it's all benefits that will impact our community.
The hospital is aiming to purchase 5 transport ventilators worth over $270,000 for patients who need them while being transferred to another healthcare facility.
COVID and the pandemic really highlighted the need for ventilators in general and having all of that breathing support for patients who need it.
The hospital is expecting to see a donation total of between $50,000 and $75,000 when the gala is all said and done. CEO Paul Heinrich says this gala is one of the biggest fundraisers. Hospital data shows that within the next 14 years, there will be a significant increase of chronic disease, making this money and the equipment it will purchase vital.
It matters more than ever that we have the support of our community, the financial support and the goodwill, so that we can invest in the right care close to home, make sure we have the right technology.
Harris is pleased to see how it's grown, with generous golfers giving back to their hospital.
This hospital is important for the whole region and the whole area, and it means a lot to me.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, Callander.
Health Canada has now approved Ozempic to reduce the risk of further kidney decline among patients with type 2 diabetes. CTV's Pauline Chan has those details.
Craig Lindsay was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes 31 years ago and later developed the chronic kidney problems that so often accompany diabetes.
We underappreciate how hard it is living with a chronic disease. It's every decision. It's, do I have the energy to go for a walk? Am I making the right food choices?
That's why he recognizes the importance of making Ozempic or semaglutide injections available now for type 2 diabetes patients with high risk of kidney disease, and that could be millions across Canada.
Diabetes is probably the #1 cause of kidney failure. It's not a small subset. So in Ontario, for example, I think Diabetes Canada says 1 to 1.5 million people are living with diabetes, prediabetes, or undiagnosed diabetes. And of the people who end up in full-blown kidney failure, fully 40% of them are struggling to manage diabetes.
They're also at high risk of developing cardiovascular complications, including
the risk of heart failure or accumulating salt and water in the body. And once patients have kidney disease, they're at an augmented higher risk of developing cardiovascular disease.
Researcher Dr. David Cherney says Ozempic won't restore lost kidney function, but it is effective in reducing future damage.
Patients have type 2 diabetes. They should be screened for kidney disease on a yearly basis at least.
Lindsay, who took insulin and underwent dialysis for several years before getting a kidney and pancreas transplant, says Ozempic is not for everyone. For example, patients with gallbladder disease or pancreatitis may not be able to use it, but it will be another useful tool in the effort to preserve kidney function for many. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
It's been a successful season for Sudbury's Cricket Club. The Big Nickel Cricket Club recently won 2 major tournaments, the Northern Ontario Cricket League and the Sioux North Cup. The club's president describes this season as one of its most successful, bringing home 3 trophies and multiple championships. The season wraps up in a few weeks.
Entertainment brought to you by the Cinefest Red Carpet Patron Program.
Fans of 80s nostalgia have a lot to look forward to, and horror movies get a new 4-legged star. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
Being bad feels pretty good, huh?
The Breakfast Club is back for another session of detention. The beloved teen movie returns to theaters for its 40th anniversary. The Brat Pack classic can be seen on big screens across the U.S. September 7th and 10th.
Now, relive the magic like never before.
Experience Dirty Dancing in a new way. The 80s film is now touring as a live experience, including a band and vocalists performing songs from the popular soundtrack. Dirty Dancing in Concert will visit more than 100 cities across North America and Europe in 2026. Horror has a new canine star. This is your first look at Good Boy, a thriller following a dog who experiences a slew of haunting events at a creepy old house. The spooky flick arrives in theaters October 3rd. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Inflation eased last month, coming in under 2%. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has more on that and other business headlines.
The Consumer Price Index rose 1.7% year over year in July. That's a drop from the 1.9 increase in June. Inflation cooled with the help of a 16% drop in the price of gas. But Canadians did pay more for groceries last month. The price of coffee spiked 28%. And sweet treats jumped almost 12% because cocoa beans cost more. Fresh grapes went up 30%. A down day overall in the markets. The Canadian dollar is at 72.12. West Texas Intermediate down almost $1 to 61.77. Our fix on Western Canadian Select has it down under $50 a barrel. And the TSX dropped 98 points, ending the day at 27,823. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold down $17.35, closing the day at $33.15.65 U.S. an ounce. Silver down 68 cents to end the day at $37.38. Copper up a penny, and nickel moved ahead 2 cents, ending the day at $6.75 U.S. a pound. And Lindsay is back now for one last look at your Wednesday weather.
Seeing lots of sunshine across northeastern Ontario tomorrow. Tony, in Greater Sudbury, we're going to see a daytime high of around 26 degrees. The humidex closer to 28. For Timmins, partly sunny skies. Similar weather forecast for Sault Ste. Marie with the humidex 29 degrees. North Bay, mostly cloudy skies, a high of 25. Could see a little bit of rain in Parry Sound and a very high UV index expected in Temiskaming Shores. So if you're planning on getting outside, make sure to wear that sunscreen. Tony?
Yes, don't forget a hat like guys like me. Thanks, Lindsay. And finally, there's going to be a strong aroma around a seniors facility in downtown Sudbury this weekend. As CTV's Angela Gemmel tells us, the event is all about community.
There's a flurry of activity as these seniors prep food for the upcoming Ukrainian Garlic Food Fest.
We definitely will sell, say, 600 dozen pierogies and definitely 300 dozen cabbage rolls. we'll sell out all the borscht, sauerkraut, dill pickles that we've got.
The volunteers live at the Ukrainian Senior Center. Some have been helping for decades. They make and sell homemade pierogies and cabbage rolls regularly to raise money for the center. But production ramps up in the days leading up to the annual festival.
These people have been doing this for a long time. I'm sure they could close their eyes and pinch pierogi all day long. And it's a good social event too.
In Ukrainian, these are called pereheya. Along with cabbage rolls, they're a staple in the Ukrainian cuisine.
People in Eastern Europe and Ukrainians love garlic. So if you go way back in the history of the center, there were a few ladies that said we should have a little event and do something with garlic.
It was back in the early 90s when the garlic idea was combined with a community gathering.
It started out 34 years ago as a social just for the residents in the building, and everyone in the building had to prepare a dish with lots of garlic in it, and then we all just had a nice big social. And the next year, other people wanted to come. And then it just ballooned.
The Ukrainian Garlic Food Fest is the largest fundraiser for the Senior Center. It's set for this Sunday in Natition Park in front of the Senior Center. Along with garlic nibblers, there will also be the staples. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Nice job, Angela. And folks, that's CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. Thanks so much for watching. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Amanda Hicks. Good night.